Well, there's no doubt who's an MVP caliber player when he's healthy. Recent elbow and back problems slowing Caminiti again. And Dave, how about this play?
Well, I mean, normally he knows he'd really have to rush. He kind of cuts one loose. Leyritz goes up on the tiptoes and makes the play. But Caminiti, as he's running off the field, we see Randy going hard to first base. Looks like he's finishing the 100-yard dash. Caminiti kind of came limping off. I mean, he's had the chronic back problems. He's had hamstring problems, knee problems, you name it. And Caminiti, he is a warrior, but he's also had a thigh problem that sidelined him earlier this year. But that was a case right there of Andy Ashby really picking up his defense after they'd let him down.
And then, while the Mariners were throwing the ball around the horn, just before giving it back to Randy Johnson, he was out behind the mound, stretching his hamstrings.
He's stretching right now.
With Caminiti stepping in, Johnson has been stretching. Now he'll tie his shoe. He will face Caminiti, Leyritz, and Finley in the San Diego 6th inning.
Remember, Randy's been on base once. He ran to first on an error, went first to third on a hit, and then scored, and then he ran all out there, and you could tell the hamstring was bothering him.
It's a night for aggravating little injuries in this ball game so far. Caminiti thought it was a fastball, swung over that breaking pitch. He's grounded out, flied to center, 0 for 2. His batting average sitting at .241 right now. Then a backdoor breaking ball, strike 2.
96 is MVP year. He hit .721 slugging percentage, batting right-handed. But postseason shoulder surgery, he hasn't been as effective from this side the last 2 years.
Then a fastball away, little bouncer, charged nicely by Segui. He'll do it himself. 1 out. Let's check in with Rhys Davis.
Guys, this is not a shining moment on the Mike McFarland resume reel. A's and Giants is going to fake. Barry Bonds is on third, and he spikes it. And Bonds says, well, I'll just go score. But McFarland does have a good move when flag football season gets you. Tied to 3. So.
Well, the Giants are having a battle there. That could be a big run for them. 4.5 back of the Padres, who trail 1-0 to Randy Johnson here. Padres really handled the Giants well in their head-to-head meetings, Dave. Couple of 3-game series over the last 2 weeks.
Well, actually one of them was 4, and they beat him 6 out of 7. Jeff Kent was out that entire time, and they've missed him because they have not hit many home runs with Kent out of the lineup.
Padres have dominated the National League West with a record of 15-3. As Dave mentioned, now 7-2 against the Giants, 6-1 against Arizona, 2-0 against the Dodgers. They have not seen Colorado yet.
Finally figured out what Mike McFarland should have had, that old Harlem Globetrotter trick where the guy had the rubber band on the ball and he throws it and it comes back to him.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Leyritz, who's 0 for 2 tonight.
These guys had a confrontation a few years ago in Seattle where Randy kind of got ticked off at the umpire, threw a 3-0 pitch and drilled Leyritz. Leyritz got some revenge in the playoffs, so hitting a big home run against the Mariners.
Pretty good jam job right there and a little pop fly for the catcher. Marzano was following Leyritz right down the line to catch that foul ball, 2 down.
Well, again, they wanted to get Leyritz, especially now because of the 3 left-handers the Mariners were going to throw at him, Fassero, Moyer, and Randy. But Leyritz's lifetime numbers against Randy now 4 for 35. That's about $115.
Well, the first left-hander, Jeff Fassero, went 9 innings in the complete game loss on Monday. Jamie Moyer went 8+ last night before he needed Heathcliff Slocum to help out. So the Mariners are getting some serious innings out of their left-handers right now. Finley 2 strikeouts swinging tonight.
And notice you say that name slowly, like I do.
Heathcliff Slocum. Well, he's been a little slow coming back as their closer as well. That was only his 2nd save of the year last night, when the Mariners beat the Padres 5-3 up in the Kingdome. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, last year the big 3 of the Mariners, Moyer, Fassero, and Johnson, at this point in the season were 25-7. They finished 53-18. They've lost almost that many here in June.
Breaking ball in there, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty, 2 outs. How many times have we said that tonight? Here's Jamie Moyer, who should have a record better than his 5 and 6. Swing and a miss on a fastball away. Randy Johnson, for the 90th time in his career, a 10 strikeout game. Joey Cora leads off.
The 5 days of summer continues tomorrow afternoon.
Multimax is multiplying your movie choices.
What are you trying to tell me?
Now Cinemax 2 is More Max, a whole new network to maximize your movie pleasure. With the new More Max, catch a primetime movie every night at 9. A timeless classic every single day at 4.
So glad to be back.
And independent films on Tuesdays. More Max, more movies, more choices with Multimax. Talk about multiple choice. Call now for 2 channels of Cinemax and 1 channel of More Max for only $10.99 a month.
$5 million? Hold it, IRS!
Brad and Caroline are getting back to basics.
Morning!
Let's go scrub the kitchen floor. Oh, could we?
Where hard work,
Prison couldn't be worse than this.
good food, and simple faith
Till the soil.
can just about kill you.
We are plowing now.
Tim Allen,
They're talking about you in the barn.
Kirstie Alley,
They're like children with the corn.
for richer or poorer.
Premiering June 25th on Dish on Demand.
Excuse me. I see you got a little problem there. You're wearing sunglasses and reading glasses. Boy, do you look silly. Clearly, you haven't discovered Optics 2020 reading lenses. They're soft lenses that cling to the inside of your sunglasses. Like this. Now that small print just jumps into focus. It's magic, isn't it? You look so much better. Optics 2020 reading lenses for sunglasses. Excuse me, hi. So you got a little problem there, huh? Woo, can't see, can you? Woo.
International law applies to all countries. Those who break the law must pay. This is no game. This is World Cup. All in Mexico, tomorrow at 9:30 on ESPN.
Seattle Mariners' highest scoring Major League Baseball team the last couple of years. #1 in home runs this year. But finding out it doesn't mean a whole lot without pitching and a bullpen that can close out ball games this year. They are 32 and 45, 15 games behind the red-hot Anaheim Angels right now. But tonight they're getting great pitching from Randy Johnson. It'll be Joey Cora, Alex Rodriguez, and Ken Griffey Jr. in the top of the 7th inning. Avi Ayala, Heathcliff Slocum. How many games this year before their first save? The Pen got their first save in game 14 for Seattle this year.
And Piniella talked to him about 45 minutes before the game tonight. He said he was watching a Scotty Bowman tape the other night on television about how the Red Wings turned it around.
Tough hop. Leyritz knocks it down. Nice play to Ashby. Cora out by an eyelash at first base. Let's check in again with Reese Davis.
Bob Juan Gonzalez had already driven in his 92nd run of the season against Arizona, and boy, that looks a lot like he's going to get some more. Crushes one to the deep part of the bob, and it just stays in play. Wound up with a triple, but did drive in yet another run. Texas on top 3-2. Gonzalez, 93 RBIs on the season.
There's not a ballpark anywhere in baseball except for that, where that's not a home run. 413 to dead center out there. Fastball is in there to Alex Rodriguez, who's had a good night. The game's only on the RBI. He's 2 for 3, now batting .314. Ashby exhales and delivers. It's down low.
Just to top off the Piniella story, he talked of listening to Scotty Bowman, where defense comes first. And Lou said that's been our biggest problem. We've got all the offense you'd want, but the defense has hurt us a lot.
Defense can't do anything about that one, as Rodriguez has a 3-hit night. 10-game hitting streak, and he's not averaging 1 hit per game during this time. He is on fire. He's aboard for Griffey with 1 out.
Well, he's now 12 for his last 18. That's a nifty 667. Right up there in home runs with 26.
Griffey hitless tonight. Walked in the first, lined out hard in the third. Lost his bat, hurt his hand before striking out in the 5th. Alex Rodriguez, 19 steals in 26 attempts, with 1 tonight.
one little historical note. 1931, the Yankees set the all-time Major League record for runs in a year with 1,067. But they finished 13.5 games behind Philadelphia because Philadelphia had the pitching. You can't outscore everybody all the time, and Lewis found that out the hard way this year.
1-0 pitch. It is high in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike to Griffey. 8 Gold Gloves, 8 All-Star games, 5 Silver Sluggers. For this young man out of Denora, PA, who will not be 29 years of age until late November. 294 homers his first 9 years. He's added 29 more. Top of the order has been okay for Seattle tonight. Joey Cora's 2 for 4. A-Rod 3 for 4. They're 5 out of 10 up top. Bottom of the order from 5 on down, 0 for 14 tonight. Runner goes. Pitch outside. Hernandez had the footwork going, but he never got the handle on the ball. And that's 20 for Alex Rodriguez, who swiped 29 last year.
Yeah, he was at point at first base. You could tell he was going to go. Hernandez tried to unload a little too fast. He tries to get everything going at once, and he didn't get the ball secured in his hand. You could see Alex was like a bird dog at point. You could see he was going to go, but Ashby didn't throw over.
You saw during that stride, Rodriguez, a rangy kid. He's 6'3", 195. And a 20 steal season for him. Not even halfway through. They're going to go ahead and walk Griffey now on 2-1. So you take the bat out of his hands by doing that.
The only thing about it this year with David Segui, a switch hitter in behind, yeah, he's driven in a lot of big runs for the Mariners this year. But again, when you run, we equated it with McGuire and some of the guys in front of him in the lineup. When they steal a base, a lot of times Big Mac just makes a right turn down to first base with the intentional walk.
And that happens even with good hitters like a Ray Langford or a Brian Jordan hitting behind him. There are certain guys, managers feel, you can't afford to let beat you. Back in the National League West, Dusty Baker has walked McGuire intentionally more than anybody else.
Well, he walked him one time in that extra inning game in St. Louis with 2 outs and nobody on. Yep. It kind of paled by what Buck Showalter did to Barry Bonds. Walked him with the bases loaded to force in a run and make it a 1-run game, but Brent Mayne lined out to right field. But I'll tell you, a lot of respect.
This ball game's like a World Cup soccer game tonight. One score could decide the issue. Holland and Mexico. Big game tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern. Both teams have a win and a tie, and they need a win to assure a berth in the next round. And then it's Belgium and South Korea. They've had a couple of ties. They need to enhance their chances. And then Germany and Iran, the team that beat the U.S. of A. And Iran still on a high from that dramatic result for their soccer-crazed hopes. That's all tomorrow on ESPN as the World Cup is just over 2 weeks old now. And the USA plays Yugoslavia tomorrow live at 2:30 Eastern on ABC. That will be a matter of pride for the red, white, and blue before they come home. David Segui with a 1-for-3 night. Andy Ashby misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Talked about David Segui's consistency, both left-handed and right-handed. He's also a rarity from the standpoint he's a high ball hitter from each side of the plate. A lot of switch hitters, especially with a little bit of power, are better low ball hitters left-handed and high ball hitters right-handed. Segui likes the ball up on both sides of the plate.
1-1 pitch. Andy Ashby's had a very good breaking ball to lefties. He's sunk the ball down and away from them. He has fanned Segui once in 3 trips tonight.
Well, Andy Ashby had 111 pitches, and we don't have the exact count, the number of extra ones he's had to throw because of his defense. But you go back to the previous inning when there were 3rd and 2nd, nobody out. He threw a bunch of extra pitches there. So he's kind of getting near his limit here in the 7th. He's due to hit 3rd in the bottom half.
2 on, 1 out, 1-2 pitch. Runner goes off second. Swing and a miss, and Hernandez can't find the handle again. Carlos getting a little jittery with runners going, and that's the second time he's failed to even make a throw on Alex Rodriguez. By the way, strikeout number 9 for Andy Ashby. We're 1K away from each pitcher in double figures.
Well, sometimes a batter doesn't really like it when a guy steals with 2 strikes because it really distracts you. A-Rod got a big jump, but it may have taken the bat out of Segui's hands. So while Alex has stolen 2, he may have taken the bat out of both Griffey and Segui's hands in that trip around the base pass.
Here's Jay Buhner, 0 for 3.
If you're going to steal third base, it's tough to do with a left-handed batter up anyway, but do it early in the count so the guy can have a chance to hit that sacrifice fly. With 2 strikes, it really can distract you, especially because the hitter's not looking at it.
That's ball 2 down low.
He's got to make a pitch. Jay Buhner makes his living off 2-0 and 3-1 pitches here. He's got to put one in a good spot.
This is a man who's hit 40 home runs 3 consecutive years. Only 10 major leaguers have ever done it, and only 5 have done it 4 times. Buhner virtually no chance to do it this year because of the time he missed after the knee surgery. Won a Gold Glove last year. He hit 2 home runs his first game back June 11th.
He'll have a green light here.
3-0 pitch. He takes it, bases loaded. 4 walks by Andy Ashby tonight. That's the second non-intentional, and a chance for Rob Ducey to break the game open here in the 7th for the M's. They'll have Rodriguez at third, Griffey at second, and Buhner at first.
It might have been when Andy got behind 2-0 to Buhner. He just said, I've had pretty good success with Ducey tonight. I've punched him out 3 times. I'm not going to give in to Buhner. I'll take my shot here.
Rob Ducey, 2 Ks and a ground ball. Took a knee-high fastball. Will Kinane called up when the Padres made all the roster moves the other day with Jim Leyritz. Breaking ball, nice play, Hernandez. They sent relief pitcher Carlos Reyes, Dario Veras off AAA, and their backup catcher Mandy Romero to Boston for Leyritz. That opened up a roster spot for Will Kinane in their bullpen. Their bullpen has been unbelievable. Trevor Hoffman, probably the best closer in baseball right now, with 31 straight over the last 2 years, and an amazing 50 of his last 51.
One of the reasons the bullpen is a lot better is because guys like Ashby and Kevin Brown are getting deeper into the games. They don't have to get down there as early.
1-1 pitch. That'll be out of play up to the left side. And in case you're wondering about the major league record for consecutive saves, that's held by Rod Beck with 41. Crowd wants the out here. Bottom of the order due up for the Padres in the bottom of the 7th. So it may be a real necessity for them to keep this a 1-0 game right here. Bases loaded, 2 down. Got him on a pitch down and away. That's 11 stranded by Seattle tonight. Randy Johnson goes back to work. 10 strikeouts for each pitcher tonight. It's a K party in San Diego.
What's he got in mind for me now? Ow! Whoa! Take it easy there. Yes, if the stain is going to come off this paint, keep scrubbing, lady. Keep scrubbing.
Only your Sherwin-Williams store has a truly washable flat latex. Sherwin-Williams EverClean.
Now that's smooth, baby. Yeah.
When only the best will do. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
There's only one Mile High taste. Coors,
the original.
Why would someone spend their own time to hack into your company's computer system and post tons of your confidential stuff on the internet? For the same reason we pierce our tongues.
So, who's watching your network?
ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. When only the best will do, ask Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams Paint and Wallpaper Stores with tonight's pitching summary. Andy Ashby, Randy Johnson, Dave Campbell. It has lived up to the advanced billing.
Well, they've both been tremendous, and they've both picked out of big-time jams. Ashby getting out of a huge jam in the sixth to keep his club there, and Randy Johnson stranded men in scoring position on 3 different occasions.
Carlos Hernandez leads off for the Padres, and a bouncer. Davis cutting over, and for the first out. Andy Sheets, then Ashby coming up. And Bruce Bochy could have a pinch hitting decision to make this inning. He's got right-handers Arky Sinfraco, Chris Gomez, and the outfielder Ruben Rivera on the bench from that right side. Sinfraco has a bat and has made his way to the on-deck circle. Strike one, outside corner, fastball. Andy Ashby would finish the night with 7 innings, only 1 unearned run given up. Joey Cora, what is that? Now the runner makes the turn, and they've got him. Andy Sheets turned towards second base. That's why catchers back up plays. Andy Sheets, a couple of mistakes for the Padres tonight, one with the arm and that one with the legs.
I'll tell you, Joey Cora is turning into an adventure and a liability for the Mariners, and only a great hustle play by Marzano saves the day. I mean, this is a routine play, and this is a short throw for the second baseman. And it's not even close.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a throw from second base, Dave, missed by that much.
And the intent was that he turned and went towards second base, and the correct call by first base umpire Bill Hahn. I don't know what's wrong with Joey. I mean, even a couple of times tonight where he's gotten guys out, he's made bad throws. Segui's had to come off the bag and make the tag.
Now it has to be an error because the runner made it to first base. Then you go 2-3 on the putout. A very bizarre play. Arky Sinfraco bats for Andy Ashby, who goes 7 innings, 1 unearned run, 6 hits. 2 of his 4 walks intentional. He struck out 10. Deserves better.
Well, that elusive 11th win, trying to become the first National Leaguer to do it, won't happen unless the Padres can rally here in the 7th.
Joey Hamilton, Andy Ashby. Hamilton, the man rumored to be traded for Randy Johnson. And the big unit has 11 now. A bizarre 1-2-3 inning. Into the 8th, 1-0.
This is life. This is getting every mile you can out of life. And this is how you get there. Kelly Charger high-performance tires are engineered for long mileage. Of course, that's no guarantee you'll live harder or go farther. Just an invitation.
Metal bars, designed to save your butt. Metal bars, designed to save your skin. Introducing the revolutionary Ship Protector, designed with super sharp blades wrapped in ultra-thin safety wires. And a full pivoting head for incredible closeness. There's no safer shave in the world. Hey, safe feels better.
Chic Protector, the feel of smart design.
Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see wisdom. You're a lucky man.
I want you to see that tradition doesn't have to be traditional.
Let them see you in Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica.
When I was a kid, I remember going to the Boys and Girls Club. There was this one teacher,
That's great, Frank.
Miss Franklin. She always encouraged me,
Right. Come on, Frank. You can do it.
especially when it came to baseball. It was a great experience.
There you go.
That's why I'm glad I can give something back to the Boys and Girls Club, especially to Miss Franklin.
Come on, Miss Franklin, you can do it. Come on. Here we go. Let's make this play.
Major League Baseball charities and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, giving kids a world of opportunities.
Reese Davis with you. The A's and the Giants. Barry Bonds has been highly involved. He's homered, he scored the tying run, and then drove in the lead run as the Giants have now jumped on top of the A's by a count of 4-3. San Francisco going for 3 in a row over Oakland. Bob.
Okay, Reese, and with this ball game, if this result holds up, it'll be a 3.5 game spread in the National League West. Padres will host the Angels this weekend. Dan Miceli will take over. 27-year-old right-hander who's been around National League some. Came in with the Pirates in '93, pitched 1 year in the American League. That was last year. 3-2 in 71 games for Detroit with 3 saves.
Well, you talked about that Padre bullpen and Trevor Hoffman plus the depth. Miceli and Donnie Wall have been absolutely terrific. Roberto Ramirez has come on. Bowringer at times has done well, so that's been a good group down there.
Interesting about that play, Dave, a half inning ago. Randy Johnson started the 7th inning with 93 pitches. With Andy Sheets making the wrong turn at first base, that enabled Randy Johnson to get out of that inning with maybe 8-10 pitches. So he should be pretty fresh for those last 2 innings.
Well, we talked about the defense adding extra pitches to Randy Johnson. The Padre defense added a lot of them to Andy Ashby tonight as well. He was over the 110 pitches by the time he got through 7.
Came in at 10-4. His ERA will go down with that unearned run. It was at 2.38 starting tonight.
But he does, for the 13th time in a row, go at least 7 innings. And I'll tell you, that really helps the manager. Lou Piniella knows that. Lou said, man, I just don't know which way to turn. He says, I can't make the right decision. He said, managers that have a good bullpen seem to make the right decision a lot more than managers that don't have a good bullpen. He got a standing ovation last night when he left Jamie Moyer in the 9th inning.
High fly ball right field. Tony Gwynn waving off Finley. That's how the 8th inning gets underway. Marzano next, then the batter, Randy Johnson. If you're thinking about the 8th inning for the Padres, they have the top of their order due up.
No, the only thing that has marred this from being an absolutely wonderfully played game has been the defense on both sides. 5 errors in the game, but boy, the pitcher's been absolutely terrific.
How often do you see 1 total run in a game when there have been 5 errors?
Well, that's how good the pitchers were overcoming it. And really the difference in this game after the Sheets there and a hit by Veras was the hottest hitter in either lineup right now. Alex Rodriguez got a base hit to left field, and he has been on fire. 12 hits in his last 18 at bats. Bruce Bochy tonight, I'm sure thinking about maybe his lineup decisions.
And a breaking ball foul.
I mean, Bochy has been right on the mark all year. I mean, when a manager and a team are doing well, that kind of goes synonymous. But he had to make a decision on Sheets or Gomez at shortstop. And Sheets has not played well. He's made a base running mistake and an error on defense that led to a run. And Finley's punched out 3 times against Randy Johnson. But I'm sure Bruce is sitting there thinking, well, maybe one of those 2 guys can do something good before the night's over.
Chris Gomez has made just 3 errors in 69 ball games this year. Obviously, Marzano was not expecting a fastball. He's gone. Bases empty, 2 outs. And Randy Johnson coming up. Well, the colors of the X Games are all over San Diego. More than 450 of the world's greatest alternative sport athletes competing in a variety of those cutting-edge sports. Tomorrow, bicycle stunts, skateboarding, sport climbing, and street luge. Saturday on ABC, sky surfing and more skateboarding. That sky surfing is one of the most dramatic things you'll ever see. Randy Johnson 0 for 3 at the plate tonight, but he has scored the game's only run, and he's got a base hit to center field. It gets under the glove of Finley. Randy Johnson says, I'm staying at first base this time.
Well, I think that hamstring's been grabbing at Randy a little bit. I guess probably Bruce Bochy's saying it's a good thing Randy hit it this time with 2 outs and nobody on, as opposed to the bases loaded. So the big unit's been on base a couple of times tonight. He and Ashby both have hits. Finley comes in, tries for the shoestring, gets past him. Anybody else might have been second or third. Good backup by Greg Vaughn. But the big unit didn't want to go anywhere.
Runner at first, 2 down. Joey Cora steps in. Joey Cora with a good night. 2 for 4, pair of singles. Over his last 24 ball games now, Joey Cora batting .300. Misselli missing, low and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Padres down to their final 6 outs. They want to get off the field here, and they will on the bouncer to Kilvio Veras. Mariners have left a dozen runners tonight. Top of the order coming up. Veras, Gwynn, and Vaughn. Key inning in the 8th.
Recently, Miller Lite noticed ordering from the old label took too long.
Light beer from Miller.
So they changed the label to read
Miller Lite.
This saves time. Now, the more you order, the more extra time you'll have for other things. This couple decided to check and see what's behind the refrigerator.
What will you do with your extra Miller time?
Hey, pull me back. Oh, that feels pretty good. What's this stuff? I'm not going there. No way. Forget about it. Hey, come on. I got an image to uphold here.
If you want the best, come to your Sherwin-Williams store. It's the only place to get Sherwin-Williams paint.
Oh, yeah. Now that's the good stuff, baby.
When only the best will do. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Hey, good looking. Want to go for a little spin?
There are hundreds of lawnmowers to choose from, with a broad range of quality features designed to meet your needs. But the ones that have the edge to do the job right have one feature in common: a powerful, high-performance Briggs & Stratton engine. Make sure your lawnmower is powered by Briggs & Stratton, the power in power equipment.
A lot of very interesting matchups in this game tonight. Who would have thought that Randy Johnson might score the only run of this ball game?
I think the interesting thing, Tony Gwynn has faced Randy Johnson 5 times previous to this, twice in an all-star game and 3 times in spring training. But Tony Gwynn has struck out twice tonight. It's only the 29th time in his career he's done that, and he's only struck out 3 times in his career, once in 16 years in the majors. He's got a chance for something I used to do often, the infamous silver sombrero. But Tony will be hacking at the first thing he sees.
That was against the Dodgers a couple of years ago. Jeff Houston, a little more reliable defensively than Joey Cora has shown us. He'll take over at second base here for what the Mariners hope are the final 2 innings. Randy Johnson drops the breaking ball in there. 2 more pitches, he'll be at 100. So he only needed a handful of pitches to get through that 8th inning, or that 7th inning. That sets him up very well here to maybe finish this thing out. Fastball, high chopper. Hurrying in, Rodriguez. Quick exchange, nice play.
Well, A-Rod knows if that ball bounced again that Veras was going to beat it out. He got a tremendous jump on that, came in and made it, and then got Kilvio very easily. Charging all the way. As soon as that ball was hit, he didn't lay back for an instant.
Tony Gwynn. 2 strikeouts, reaching on an error. It's jammed out to Rodriguez. Low throw, a little offline, and Segui has to grab it. I tell you, these first basemen have had an interesting time trying to catch infield throws tonight.
Well, another pretty easy inning to this point for Randy Johnson. Padres, that's one thing. A lot of times, if you're a strikeout pitcher, those hitters will go after everything early in the count just so they don't get 2 strikes on them.
He's fanned 11, but only 2 since the 5th inning. But if you're Randy Johnson, that's fine and dandy. That's how you finish a ball game. And here's Greg Vaughn. Maybe this is the one time we say he represents the tying run. Nobody else has come close to looking dangerous against Randy Johnson. Vaughn 1 for 3 with a single. Breaking ball is in there. He has really spotted that breaking pitch tonight. And he throws the breaking ball down and in. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Tony Gwynn telling me before the game tonight he was 1 for 5 against Randy. He said his first at bat ever against him. He got a double to left. He said he nearly broke his hand. The ball hit about 3 inches above his hands.
Well hit under the glove of the diving Russ Davis. Padres have only their 5th base hit of the night. Caminiti will get a chance with a man on.
Well, Davis was guarding the line. I don't have a problem with that with 2 outs. Sometimes I hate to see a guy guarding the line with a guy like Randy Johnson throwing because you're hardly ever going to pull him. But with 2 outs, make him get 3 singles to beat you. But you see Davis is pretty close to the line, and he also took a step the wrong way.
Ken Caminiti 0 for 3. 2 infield grounders, a fly ball in between. Two Padres have 2 hits. Veras and now Vaughn, all singles. The other was from the pitcher, Andy Ashby. So Randy Johnson has pretty much dominated the entire lineup. Trying to get on the winning side. His record at 6-6 coming in. Hard to believe how this man could have an ERA of 5.17. But Dave, those mechanical adjustments you talked about early in our telecast tonight have really made a huge difference.
Well, at 107 pitches, that last fastball was still 96 miles an hour. Nobody could really figure out why he had dropped velocity, but basically what he was doing is he wasn't really getting any push off on the rubber. I mean, at 610, he was just kind of turning and kind of flipping the ball, and he was losing 5 to 6 miles an hour velocity. But his last 2 starts, he's given up 1 run. He's struck out 23, and it looks like the unit of old.
Out to short. Should be easy. Rodriguez to Houston, and the Padres are gone in the 8th inning, stranding their 7th runner into the 9th. 108 pitches for Randy Johnson, and the big Mariners coming up.
An unforgettable performer from his recent world tour. The songs you love. From the man who made them hits. Phil Collins in concert from Paris. Don't miss it. Premiering Saturday, June 27th on pay-per-view.
To order, call 1-800-333-DISH.
She's gorgeous. She's the perfect woman.
A man will do the strangest things for love.
We'll withdraw from the gas and go. We'll go in there with our faces covered and guns blazing.
In this romantic comedy like no other.
Sexual attraction between us. It's ridiculous.
They will even commit crimes.
We're gonna get shot.
Don't miss Sting's debut in the world premiere of The Real Reason Men Commit Crimes. Special encore presentation.
For everything else, there's the First USA PGA Tour Titanium MasterCard. Call 1-800-371-0065 now. You could save hundreds of dollars by transferring your balances from higher interest rate credit cards. And you'll receive a dozen top flight golf balls free with your first purchase or balance transfer. Call now and request the First USA PGA Tour or Senior PGA Tour Titanium MasterCard or the First USA Titanium MasterCard. Call now for your free gift.
Tune in to this year's Service Merchandise Home Run Derby live on ESPN July 6th at 8 p.m. and enter the ESPN Long Ball Sweepstakes. You could win a trip to the 1999 Home Run Derby. Tune in and you could be part of the team.
Alex Rodriguez extending his hitting streak to 10 ball games tonight. Leads off the top of the ninth for the Seattle Mariners. Bob Carpenter, Dave Campbell at Qualcomm Stadium, San Diego, 1-0. It looks like Griffey could be facing the left-hander Roberto Ramirez, who's been warming in the Padre bullpen.
Well, the Mariners trying to get off the schneid in more ways than one. They've lost 9 consecutive one-run games. The Padres are 18-9 in one-run games, the most victories in the majors. But right now, the Mariners have the one-run advantage.
And on none of those occasions were the Padres facing Randy Johnson.
Yeah, and I may add that nobody is warming in the Seattle bullpen.
Rodriguez, a 3-hit night, raising his average from 311 to 316. Has the game's only RBI. And now Alex hitting right around the 400 mark over the last 3 weeks. That'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strike as Dan Maselli's out there for his second inning of work and facing probably his last man no matter what happens here.
One of the interesting things about both Alex and Junior, both of them seem to have such effortless swings, and yet they propel the ball such great distances.
Great distances is right, Dave. At one point this season, Rodriguez was tied with McGuire and Vinny Castilla for the major league lead. He made it to 15 homers this year, a month earlier than he had last year when he finished the 1997 season with 23. And sometimes it's hard for us to remember what a young guy he still is. 2-2 pitch.
Well, I don't think a shortstop in baseball history ever put the kind of year he did together at age 21. 358. That was the highest American League batting average since Joe DiMaggio in 1939. 36 homers, 123 RBIs. And the only reason he didn't win the MVP that year is the 2 Seattle beat writers voted for Ken Griffey. Juan Gonzalez of Texas won it.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Rodriguez, Griffey, and Segui in the Seattle 9th inning. Mariners on the road this year, 14 wins, 25 losses. Now off-speed breaking ball got him down in the dirt. Second strikeout for Dan Maselli. We figure that's it for him. Bruce Bochy has already signaled for the left-hander.
Bruce signaled quite a while ago, but the third base umpire, Randy Marsh, has kind of taken a nap down there. Randy finally went, oh, okay, you want the lefty. All right.
Roberto Ramirez out of the Mexican League where he was a star against Ken Griffey Jr. in a moment.
There are times when you can't afford to miss a message. When you get Skyward Plus from SkyTel, you get the message every time, guaranteed.
Zima.
Hey. How is that?
Huh. Very refreshing.
I'm Nicola Wager and I make Ford engines in Wales.
Wales is a beautiful country. Lots of greenery, lots of trees, very rainy. The last thing we want to do is harm this lovely country.
Solar power! The sun helps us make our engines. It seems like a really strange idea, but it does work.
It's the first factory of its kind in the world.
Ford's not just producing engines, but it's looking after the environment as well.
Long live Rome, and on to victory.
There are times when you can't afford to miss a message.
Brutus!
When you get Skyward Plus from SkyTel, you get the message every time, guaranteed.
ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by cold, refreshing Zima. Zima, a few degrees cooler. Four-time Mexican League All-Star Roberto Ramirez against Ken Griffey, an eight-time American League All-Star. Fastball is upstairs. 68 wins, 32 losses over the years, 7 of them for the Mexico City Red Devils, known as the Reds. And the only left-hander that Bruce Bochy has been able to get out of this bullpen. That's been his tradition lately. Dave, seldom a lefty here.
Well, one of the things, Trevor Hoffman has always been more effective, or at least as effective, against left-handed hitters as he has right-handers. But they have not had a good left-hander down in their bullpen for 2 years. They won in '96 without one, but Bruce has been searching for one. They got Ramirez, and he's done a good job so far.
1-1 pitch. Griffey, long fly ball, left field. This is a 2-0 game. The hand must be feeling quite well. That's number 30 for Griffey, RBI number 68, and a big 2-run lead now for Seattle.
Only the second man in baseball history to have 30 home runs 3 times by the All-Star break. No secret, the other one is Mark McGwire. Griffey, the last 3 years, has had at least 30 by the break. And he hits one. We've talked about Vaughn leading the National League in home runs against right-handed pitching. Ken Griffey has hit more home runs against lefties than anybody else. He just takes his low fastball out the other way.
Almost makes the task seem impossible now for San Diego with a 2-0 deficit.
Well, again, Bruce Bochy, he has been pushing all the right buttons all year, but tonight he can't do it 162 days. Sheets at shortstop instead of Gomez is hurt. Finley is fanned 3 times instead of Rivera, and he makes the move to the left-hander, which is the proper move, but gets burned because Ramirez leaves one out over the plate to Junior.
Well, the Rodriguez-Griffey combination keeps on pounding home runs. And a bouncer up the middle. Romeo Veras on a close play gets Segui 2 down. We got 2 outs in the 9th. Let's get another update from Reese Davis.
While Junior has provided insurance in that game in San Diego, Oakland gets comeback, catch-up, and insurance in one pinch-hit swing from Matt Stairs. A grand slam puts Oakland on top of San Francisco 7-4 as they play in the bottom of the 8th.
And Reese, they're almost as happy about that here as they are in the Oakland dugout. That would keep the Padres from losing a game in the standings to the Giants. Jay Buhner, the batter now. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. 2-0 Seattle, top of the 9th. With Randy Johnson rearing to finish this one.
122nd home run for the Mariners, a wide lead in the Major League lead.
Seattle, far and away number 1. Atlanta started the night with 106 to lead the National League. 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball skipping right by the foot of Jay Buhner. 381-foot homer by Griffey going the opposite way.
You know, Rob Ducey on deck, a left-handed batter who struggled. I don't think Ramirez can give in and give a fat one right here to Jay Buhner. You see Canane up again.
Out to short, deep short. Sheets can't handle it initially. Has the arm to make the throw. 5th time in Griffey's career with at least 30. It opens up a huge lead now into the bottom of the 9th.
It happens every year in some of the most remote stretches of land in Mexico. And in the world of off-road racing, it's truly the whole enchilada, the legendary Baja 1000. A mountain of dust for those who can stand to eat it, and the end of the line for those who can't. That's why more drivers who challenge the Baja rely on the Duralast battery than any other. The same Duralast you can rely on in your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
Gary Sheffield, outstanding bat speed. Pull the ball with the best of them.
The secret to MLB 99's realism? Scouting reports straight from the pros.
Favorite cheese Gouda. Bobby Bonilla, weakness for fastballs in the dirt. Has a dog named Snacks.
That's impressive.
I knew that.
You drive a 71 Nova, make $22,000 a year, and you were a bedwetter.
Hey, better.
PlayStation.
Need glasses? Save up to 70% off frames, even the latest fashions, now at Pearl Vision.
Run, Billy, run! Run! Billy, run! Billy! Run! Oh, man! Your mom's gonna kill me!
Got a funny youth baseball video? Enter the Blippy Blooper Contest. Pick up an entry form at your neighborhood Blippy restaurant.
For men, healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. New Total Hair Fitness shampoos with natural plant extracts actually help stimulate the scalp and unclog pores for stronger, healthier hair. New Total Hair Fitness for men.
Randy Johnson trying to throw his 48th career complete game. It would be his 18th shutout. And the Griffey home run makes it really difficult for San Diego. 2-0. Leyritz leads off. He's 4 for 36 career against this left-hander. And a little chopper. Little double pump. Wow. He throws a fastball to Segui for the first out. A couple of defensive changes for the Mariners. As Rob Ducey moves from left field to right field, Jay Buhner is out. And then over in left field, they go with the glove of Rich Amaral.
Still a concession to the knee of Buhner. Jay, a Gold Glover in right field with a great arm, but because of the knee surgery, they take him out. Ruben Rivera pinch hits now.
He sure has been better at the major league level than he was in the minor leagues. Rivera hitting .308 for the Padres, and he was hitting about $140 at Vegas with over 40 strikeouts in about 140 at bats. Randy Johnson misses low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's gone 0-2, 1-2, bases loaded, bases empty, 2 outs. Very quickly on a regular basis tonight. The 1-2 pitch, and 1 more out to go. That's his 12th strikeout of the game. The second consecutive dozen strikeout game for Randy Johnson.
Well, 3 times he faced men in scoring position. Caminiti grounded out in the first, popped out in the third, then in the 5th he struck out Tony Gwynn and got Greg Vaughn to bounce out. 3 times the tying or go-ahead run was at second base, but Randy got those 4 key outs in the game.
Carlos Hernandez, the final hope of the Padres. Randy Johnson putting the sharp angle close on this sales call. Fastball away, 2-0. Carlos Hernandez 0 for 3 tonight. This would be 2 out of 3 for the Mariners against the Padres the last 3 nights. There's a home run to left field. Carlos Hernandez with his 4th of the year. And now Griffey's shot in the top of the inning looks even bigger than it did then. 2-1 now.
Well, the unit may have been trying to rush to get things done. That one didn't have a lot on it. It was his 116th pitch of the night. But Carlos hammered it. Low fastball, middle plate. And Carlos knew he got it, and so did Randy.
Padres with their 70th homer of the year. A 2-1 game now as Carlos Hernandez surprises everybody by going deep. Now if they lose 2-1, it becomes an evening of what ifs for the Padres. Strike one to Andy Sheets. He's had a tough night in the field and on the bases. And a little foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Randy Johnson giving up his 13th homer of the year. Griffey hitting his 30th, which would be the winning margin. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the 9th inning. Just off the inside corner with a fastball.
97 miles an hour. He has lost nothing.
Now the step off. Outfield shallow around to the right for Andy Sheets. And the 1-2 pitch. That's ball 2. The thing that Randy Johnson doesn't want to do here is to maybe walk him, get down to the number 9 hole, and enable Bruce Bochy to pinch hit. He's got Gomez in the on-deck circle. He has used Ruben Rivera and Arky Sinfraco. Two-2 pitch. Breaking ball, misses. Padres not going down without a fight. The pitch and a grounder to third. Tough play for Davis. Makes it nicely, and Seattle wins it 2-1. A pitching gem for Randy Johnson tonight. His 48th career complete game.
Well, you can see the unit's excited about the effort. Ever since the side sessions with Stan Williams, after he was really struggling, his last 2 starts, he's allowed 2 runs. He has struck out 24. He was between 94 and 98 miles an hour, hitting 99 a couple of times tonight. The unit is back. Junior